Waterside respite, sunroom siesta, restless sleep, frosted lullaby, dreamland meander, slumber evermore. A voluble and whimsical antique appraiser, known for creating limericks on the spot, she presents her appraisals with flair and precision. She sets up a stall on the street, ensuring antiques find their way to those who truly cherish them. Street Antique Appraisal. On the busiest street in Jinzhou, a small appraisal stall occasionally appears, adding a touch more excitement to the bustling scene. The stall owner is a lively girl, Youhu, who confidently considers herself a seasoned appraiser. She claims that with just a light touch, she can discern the history behind any antique. Her early career saw just one slip-up, misjudging an ancient ding. She later purchased it from the client, repaired it with her cryogenic powers, and now keeps it close as a reminder to stay sharp. Despite her playful self-promotion and carefree antics, people don't mind trusting her, especially since her appraisal fees are modest, just the cost of a meal and a sprinkle of compliments. This folding screen predates Jinzhou, a rare treasure perfectly preserved. You can even call it a witness to Jinzhou's rise and fall. The glaze here, smooth as jade, soft as silk. It's not ancient, but the craftsmanship is definitely worth the price. Her insights, whether on artistry or historical value, hit the mark every time, earning her the trust of her clients. Adding to the charm of her appraisals is a unique flair, called a show if you will. While others might inspect antiques with magnifying glasses, Youhu examines each piece with lively gestures, reciting witty poems as if she's performing some ancient, mysterious ritual. Initially, people worried she might accidentally damage the valuables, but after seeing her skills, they've come to embrace her eccentric ways. Perhaps true masters just have their, well, quirks. A returned treasure. Youhu always carries a scroll-like box filled with miniature replicas of antiques she's appraised, each crafted with her Forte. These replicas aren't just souvenirs, but handy tools to fend off tacit discords. In the summer, they can double as coolers. Just pop some fruit in with an iced replica and voila, a chilled snack. Inside the box is also a booklet where she writes limericks about every antique she encounters. A guy from the Ministry of Development asked me to find that missing enameled porcelain from Huanglong. Noted. That merchant definitely got the Seldan tripod incense burner through shady means. I hinted he should return it, but who knows if he'll listen. Better keep an eye on him. That carpenter at the city gate is chopping wood with centuries old knife! The audacity! What a disgrace! I'll let it slide this time. Just need to tell him the knife's true worth later. These interesting notes help keep her memories fresh. Take that merchant with the incense burner. After weeks of strange events and sleepless nights, he recalled the street appraiser's warning. Hey, that incense burner's from a bad place. Your luck won't hold up against it. Misfortune's coming your way. She had said it with such flair, like a storyteller spinning a tale. The merchant hadn't taken her seriously at first, but his recent misfortunes made him reconsider. One night, after the 15th eerie shadow flitted outside his window with its bone-chilling shriek, he rushed to return the stolen burner. Had he dared to look up, he might have seen another scene unfolding. The patrollers had spotted a suspicious figure on the rooftops and moved in to question them. Youhu, dressed in a makeshift disguise, saw the guards approaching and fled, stumbling a few times along the way. Even as she ran, she managed to jot down in her notebook, Seldan tripod incense burner, return to its rightful place. Where history endures. Youhu was born in a bustling port town known for its antique trade, where her parents were both esteemed appraisers. On her first birthday, her parents, following local customs, surrounded her with objects representing various trades. It was said that the first item the child touched would predict their future interests and career path. But that day, little Youhu ignored pens, swords, and cooking utensils, crawling straight to her mother to latch onto the family's precious heirloom, a genuine antique Ruyi ring, and refused to let go. Growing up surrounded by antiques, Yuhu's love for them blossomed. She was fascinated by everything about them, soaking up the driest, most obscure appraisal facts with a twinkle in her eye. But what she loved most was listening to the stories her parents told about the antiques. The deep chimes of the ancient bell echoed with memories of distant times when people knelt in devotion before golden statues praying for their family's well-being. The stone carvings depicted bold youths drawing their bows, warding off tacit discords to protect the people. Yuhu's lively nature shone through as she immersed herself in the world of antiques, the tacit mark on her arm glowing faintly to illuminate her eyes. In every antique, she saw a little piece of history and a glimpse into the remnants of a civilization. this magic still holds her spellbound today. Chenpi, Youhu's master, often praised her talent. To be honest, your knowledge of antiques lacks structure. But don't worry, I'll teach you everything you need to know. What's truly valuable is your respect for the history in these antiques and your keen perception. In other words, you're a natural appraiser. And Youhu would flash a cheeky grin.
My parents already said I was born for this.
The value of antiques. The so-called renowned appraisers are always squabbling over the value of antiques. First, they downplay an antique's value, snapping it up for a pittance, only to turn around and hype it up to sell for a fortune. Craftsmanship, history, mere afterthoughts in their pricing games. However, Youhu has a different approach. For her, the worth of an antique isn't measured solely in currency, but something more unique. Genuine appreciation is the first factor. Youhu enjoys facilitating deals where buyers are deeply respectful of the antiques and sellers entrust their cherished items to someone who truly appreciates them. As the antique changes hands, its frequency is mirrored in the hearts of both parties. Another factor would be conscience. When Youhu was 7, raiders ransacked the town looking for riches. To them, antiques were just another form of loot. The wealthy merchants and local appraisers panicked, abandoning their treasures as they escaped. The raiders, ignorant about the true worth of these antiques, justified their plundering by saying the people here didn't deserve their treasures anyway, and such items might as well be taken somewhere they would be appreciated. But not everyone fled. Some stood their ground, facing the raiders with steely resolve. They knew the true value of these antiques and defended them to the bitter end. And that brings us to the final factor, the courage to sacrifice. Now, it is Youhu's turn to make a sacrifice. Whether it is her talent, her knowledge, or the lengths she will go to recover them, she is determined to return every lost antique back to its rightful owner. In the past, those who couldn't see the value in these relics trampled all over them. But today, Youhu's mission is to return each lost antique to where it truly belongs. The Ruyi Ring. Over the course of examining countless antiques, Youhu has developed a habit of replicating her favorites with her cryogenic powers. She once made an ice chime. It didn't quite match the original's melody, but the crisp sound of shattering ice was delightful in its own way. She also crafted an ice rui, swinging it with such gusto that she nearly smashed the nearby ice cauldron and mask. People often ask about her most treasured antique. Youhu always hesitates, her eyes fixed on the Ruyi Ring before her. This is her family's heirloom, once shattered, but now pieced together with ice. Her mother had told her that the Ruyi Ring symbolized completeness and good fortune. Youhu was mesmerized by the clear and translucent jade. But when raiders came, she could only watch as the ring and other treasures were pillaged and shipped away. 3 years later, she found those plundered items displayed as trophies in a museum. Despite an exhaustive search, the Ruyi Ring was nowhere to be found. It wasn't until she stumbled into a dusty storage room that she found the ring's shattered fragments, along with a tag that read, "Low value, not for display." What she valued most was dismissed by those who didn't understand its true worth. Heartbroken yet determined, Youhu clutched the fragments and trudged through knee-deep snow, her tears freezing as they fell. Driven by sudden thought, she ignored the biting cold, crouched down, and used her Forte to piece the ring back together from the ice before losing consciousness. When she awoke, her hands were etched with delicate snowflake patterns. The next thing she saw was a perfect, gleaming ice Ruyi Ring lying beside her, as if it had been waiting for her all along. Master Youhu's Poetry Collection. A booklet Youhu always carries to jot down her favorite poems and snippets of inspiration for her limericks. They say to record all your ideas. You never know when they'll come in handy. That's exactly what Youhu does every day, capturing every clever thought, whether for antique appraisals or an occasion that calls for a witty poem. It's her way of keeping her mind sharp. But of course, this is her little secret, so let's keep it between us, An ice mask. An ice mask conjured by Youhu's Forte. The design differs from the original, but the sly grin on the mask mirrors Youhu's own when she's scheming up some mischief. Youhu often toys with this mask in her spare time, keeping it as a reminder of how she was nearly deceived when appraising the original antique early in her career. Beyond serving as a cautionary symbol, it's also the perfect prop for giving someone a good scare or pulling a fast one on those who catch her interest. The Ruyi Ring. A jade ring once cracked, now repaired by Youhu with her cryogenic Forte. Once lost in the chaos of a fire, this family heirloom has finally found its way back to Youhu after an arduous search spanning miles. She still dreams of the old days, the gentle breeze from her mother's fan, the sound of her father brewing tea. When she wakes, she often finds the Ruyi ring clutched in her hand. Ruyi, a symbol of peace and happiness, is believed to grant one's wishes. To Youhu, it's more than just an antique.
Forte examination report. Resonance ability, cryogenic wonders. Resonance evaluation report, evaluation basis, resonance assessment RA1013-G. Resident at Youhu's awakening occurred 3 years prior, with early manifestations observed during childhood. The awakening was accompanied by symptoms of hypothermia induced by prolonged exposure to low-temperature environments. Youhu's task mark is located on her upper left arm. Snowflake patterns have been observed on the forearms. Temperature readings indicate these patterns are below 0 degrees Celsius. The texture remains largely unchanged, though a slight presence of macrocrystalline particles has been detected upon tactile examination. Youhu demonstrates the ability to replicate antiques using ice, achieved through resonation with the frequencies of said objects. However, detailed data collection has been hindered by the subject's unpredictable and uncooperative nature. Yuhu's resonance spectrum closely aligns with that of the Ruyi ring, indicating strong synchrony reactions. Analysis test samples reveal a non-conventional rebels curve with a steep rise in its middle section. Therefore, Yuhu is classified as a mutant resonator. Overclock diagnostic report. The waveform graph for Resident Youhu shows the non-periodic, rectangular pulse fluctuations for once, with sustained peak values during specific time intervals before a gradual decrease. These waveforms currently display clear sinusoidal fluctuations. Both the upper and lower peak values are low. Resonant criticality, relatively high. Resident Youhu's frequency displays high stability with a low risk of overclocking. Regular physical checkups are recommended, while psychological counseling is not currently necessary.